Hi, and welcome to One Degree's online training for the social workers in the library program. I'm so glad that you could join us. My name is Aziza Salako, and today I'm going to walk with you through the One Degree process. We're going to be talking about what One Degree is, what our mission is, and how you can utilize our tool to empower the Oakland community. This video will be no longer than 20 minutes. It's just a very brief summary, just to give a really good representation of everything that you can use with One Degree, because we truly do have an incredible amount of resources to work with. So, firstly, welcome to the One Degree website. The URL is onedegree.org, and essentially we're a nonprofit tech company whose mission is to empower the community. So we want to give the resource for the community so that they can empower themselves. And the way it works is that we have basically an online database of all the resources in the San Francisco Bay Area. So all 9 Bay Area counties, and actually coming next week, we will start having resources for LA. So we have a lot of the resources for the San Francisco Bay Area. As you can see, we have 10,000 plus and counting, and we serve about 8,000 people monthly. So the way it works is that we have a catalog of all these resources. So family and household resources, food, health, housing, and anyone who needs a resource in the Bay Area can come onto our website, search for it, and then from there know how to access the resource. So now that I've sort of discussed One Degree and our introduction, I want to go into the actual website layout. So as a social worker, as a nonprofit provider, there's a lot that you can do with One Degree to help your clients. So first, I want to show the variety of resources that we have. So as social workers, you're very familiar with the resource binder. We like to think of One Degree as the online resource binder that's constantly updating, yet is always consistent. So as you can see, we have just all these resource categories. So if I click on housing, for example, it brings up a sort of different varieties of housing. So let's say I'm looking for temporary housing, and I want a temporary shelter. Then it's going to bring up all the temporary shelters. And because I've specified my location, Oakland, California, you can specify via zip code, via address. It's going to bring me all of the temporary shelters in your Oakland, California. And what's really amazing is that there's a visual on this right side, a map. As you can see, there are the BART lines on there. And so this is just one example of how I can, using the main page, I can find anything that I want. And so what I was looking for was temporary shelter. But there's so much more on One Degree. So let's say, for example, I wanted to look up rent assistance. Then I could easily, in the search bar, just search rent assistance for Oakland, California, and it would pop up all my results. So there's like financial assistance for veterans. There's one-time rent and utilities assistance in Oakland. So you can use the main page to help look up a resource, but you can also use this really handy toolbar. We have so many resources on here. Rent assistance, free job training, access to drug and alcohol prevention services, child care services, anything that you could imagine we have on the One Degree website. Now, you might be wondering, is this information accurate? Is it consistent? Is it updated? And I'm happy to say that it is. So all these organizations, they have their own accounts on the website. So like Alameda County, they have their like own profile. So if I click on here, then I sort of see that when I click on Get Cash Assistance for Rent or Emergencies, it tells me which organization is providing it, and it gives me a short description. As you can see, the organization themselves has their own page on One Degree, and then you can actually leave reviews and ratings. So I could leave a review or I could leave a note. It's giving me the hours, the phone number, and what is really cool is that it's giving me the next step. So let's say I was a client who was using 1Degree and I found this great organization who could give me rent assistance. How do I know what my next step is? And so that's what the to do next thing is. It also tells me the specific community, the county served. And so if, let's say, for example, I come on here and I go there on the weekend and I find that they're actually open, then I can contact 1Degree, and we have a team of 15 people who are constantly verifying, editing, and adding info to the platform. And so if I flag and say that, hey, this information actually isn't correct, then within 48 hours, 1Degree will verify and approve these edits. And so that's a great way to make sure that the thousands of resources that we have on the website are always updated. So, it's really easy to create an account on here, especially as a pro member. So we have our clients who use the 1Degree website, and then we have our pro members, which are you all, the social workers. So pro members, I currently have a pro member account. So once you make a 1Degree account, which is really simple and easy to make, I can show you all really quickly. All right, so the sign up to make an account is super easy. I just press login, and all it wants is an email and a cell phone number. And so I'm just going to log back into my account. And 1Degree is super secure, so even I don't know what my password is. So I'm just going to go back to Oakland. And then let's say I wanted to say that I was a pro member. To get pro member access, I would just go onto settings and then click on pro membership and click that, yes, I'm a nonprofit or social work professional. So every pro member is affiliated with an organization on the website. And so as social workers in the library program, you will be affiliated with social workers in the library. And so this is you all's organization. And so it's really great. We have the Oakland Public Library's hours, and we have just a really short description so that anyone who's in 1Degree can see, oh, if I go to the Oakland Main Library from 1 to 4 on Saturdays, then I can have a one-on-one time walk-in case management with a social worker. And so this is basically what we just covered was how to create a pro member account. So just really quickly, I wanted to show how the filters work on 1Degree. So let's say I want to look up food pantries in Oakland. Then I can just search up here, food pantry, and I can actually filter my results. So I can say, I want the language to be Spanish. I want the county served to be San Francisco. And so there are all these filters over here which make sure that you're getting your most specific resources and results as possible. So let me teach you about collections. Collections are amazing. So I've looked up food pantry and I see this really cool resource. It's Getting Food for Women, Infants, and Children at La Clínica de la Raza. What I can do is I can save it to a collection. And what collections are they're basically a chance for you not to have to reset your search every time. So I can save it to a collection, and I want to save it to my summer activities collection. And so now, whenever I log back onto 1Degree, instead of having to look up food pantry again, putting in all my filter results, putting in Spanish, etc., I can just click on my collections on the left, go to summer activities, and I have my one resource, La Clínica de la Raza. And this is just a super amazing tool because especially as like social workers, when you're just dealing with so many clients, you don't want to have to research every single time. So now that we've learned about collections, I just want to tell you all. So for social workers in the library, this organization, the one that you all are currently volunteering for, they are actually working on their own collection, and so I think you can talk to Laura more about that. So the next thing that I want to talk about are referrals, and referrals are they're a specific tool that pro members can use, pro members, social workers such as yourselves. So on the left side under my resources, I see my clients. And so with my clients, you have to affiliate yourself first with an organization, and then you can begin creating referrals for your client. So I'm gonna put in my organization, the one that I work for, and I'm just gonna say what my position is. And I'm gonna connect. And so now that I am a pro member and I've affiliated myself, for you all, of course, you do social workers in the library as your organization, I'm going to add a new client. So let's say I have a client who comes to me on this Saturday and they're like, hey, I really want to find a food pantry that I can go to. And let's say that this client is a Spanish speaker, but I myself don't speak Spanish. So this is our case, and I'm basically going to walk you through the steps of how you would address such a situation. So let's say the client's name is Libby Bookman, and of course this is a fake client. So I would put in their email address, Libby Bookman 123. And what this does, and let's say they don't have a cell phone number, that's fine. What this does is it's going to send a profile to this client so they can go and create their own account. It's going to send an email to them. And this is very important because this allows the client to have their own control. You as a social worker don't really want to make an account for your client because One Degree is so secure. We want everyone to make their own clients, to know their own password. You should never know the password for your client. And so this is where it gets interesting. What language does the client speak? So we said before that Libby only speaks Spanish. So by selecting Spanish, I can still put in all my referrals, do all my work in English, but Libby will get all of the information in Spanish, which is really amazing. So we're going to save that. And so now we have Libby, and so we want to create a referral for Libby. And so we know that Libby said she wanted access for food pantries. So I'm going to go to see all. And so I see some resources that I really like. I like this one right here, the Get Food for Women, Infants, and Children. I think Libby would really benefit from that. And as you can see, I filtered my results because we said that Libby only spoke Spanish and she's in Alameda County. And I could even go further and like specify her gender. So I'm going to click on Get Food for this one, and I'm going to refer. So I have referred Libby, or I'm going to be referring her to the La Clinica, and I'm just going to press done on here. And so it's going to go back to her account, and as you can see, I have a new referral for Libby Bookman, and this is just amazing because when Libby signs onto her One Degree account, she's actually going to receive a notification that says so-and-so has referred you to La Clinica de la Raza. And again, this is super secure. No one else but you and Lizzie knows that this referral was made. And I could even make a really quick note for Lizzie. I could say, talk to Lisa there, and Libby would get this note. And I would press submit. Oh, yes. This basically is just saying you didn't add any recipients from the referred organization. So one thing that I could do is if you know someone at that organization, you could add them as a recipient so that they would see that I've referred someone to them. But in this case, we haven't done it, so I'm just going to complete the referral anyway. And so now I can email this information to Libby. So she's already gotten an email asking her to open up a One Degree account, but now the second email will also email the referral to her. Or I could text message it to her if Libby had given me a phone number, and I could also download a PDF to print. Now, there's also an option down here which says send me a reminder email and notification. This is really helpful for all your clients because you'll be able to follow up on their referrals. So I'm just going to press done. And it's just taking some time to send the referral to Libby and to generate a PDF that I can print. So let's check out the referral that it made for Libby. Let's say Libby doesn't rarely checks her email and I want to give this referral to her now. Then I could print this out at the library while she's standing right there. So as you can see, even though I did all my work in English, it showed up in Spanish for Lizzie. So it says referred by Aziza, and it tells her like the location. And if I had done multiple referrals, they would all be listed here. And next to each of them, Lizzie could sort of do like a check mark to say that she did it. This is the PDF, but of course, Libby could also get this referral on 1Degree. So now that I've made the referral for Libby, you can see I put the note over here. We can actually update the referral. So right now it says that it's in progress. But let's say the next week Libby comes and she says, hey, I went to the food pantry and I didn't really get what I wanted there. I can say, has Libby accessed this resource? And I could say yes. Or I could say that she has, but she didn't meet the requirements. Or I could say that she rejected it. So for now, I'm going to say she didn't meet the requirements. And so it would say client ineligible. And this is really awesome because from now on, whenever I go here, I won't ever refer Lizzie for this clinic again because I've sort of made this note to myself that she wasn't able to apply for it. So we also have this really cool feature called assessments, and these basically allow you to assess your clients. So if someone comes to you, we can sort of take this little survey, little questionnaire, and we can see if they're food insecure, housing insecure. And these assessments are really nice because they sort of help pinpoint the resources that your client needs. And of course, again, these are private, so only you and Libby can see that she took these questionnaires and can see the results for it. That's one of the great things about 1Degree is that it's so secure. In fact, we're actually HIPAA compliant. So the same privacy and security that medical clinics and hospitals have, 1Degree also abides by those same securities. So I can just see Libby's contact information. So I see her language is Spanish. For now, 1Degree is only in English and Spanish. So the website's in English, but you could also have the whole website in Spanish. But we are looking in the future to add more language options. And yeah, so that's essentially the gist of referrals. And one more thing. So let's say you're on 1Degree one day, because this is, again, a very super short summary. You can always click on the chat window and send 1Degree a message, and we'll always have someone respond to you as soon as possible. And so you can send them a message, be like, hey, how do I do this again? Send it, and we'll get back with you with the information that you need. I guess one important thing that I should mention is that 1Degree referrals were sort of created in mind that it's a one client with one social worker, so this information can't be shared. So I have like resources for Libby Bookman. I can't go now and share this with another one of my social worker colleagues. But I think that sort of wraps up our presentation. If you all have any questions, please contact us, especially if you have any feedback or ideas. We would love to hear from you. We can't wait to hear how 1Degree helps you empower the Oakland community, because just like the public library, 1Degree is accessible to everyone and is always free. So thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day.